Rudolf Weigl was a Polish inventor, doctor, and immunologist who's known as the creator of the first effective vaccine against epidemic typhus. He was not born Polish, but became a Pole by choice. Rudolf Weigl was born on September 2, 1883, in Pyrau, then part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. His father died in a bicycle accident, and his mother remarried a Polish high school professor, Józef Trojnar. It was his stepfather who installed him with a passion for Polish tradition and culture. He graduated from Poland's Lwów University with a degree in biological sciences in 1907, and then got his doctoral degrees in zoology, comparative anatomy, and histology. After the preliminary work done by Charles Nicolle in 1909, who discovered lice were the vector of epidemic typhus, Weigl began working on an epidemic typhus vaccine. Rudolf Weigl became a pioneer in using lice to breed typhus germs. During the First World War, he was drafted into the medical service of the Austro-Hungarian army, where he attempted to make an effective vaccine against typhus, a disease more terrifying than the enemy bullets that had already killed millions of people. To develop the vaccine, he bred lice infected with Rickettsia prowazekii, a bacteria that is the etiologic agent of epidemic typhus, transmitted in the feces of lice, and then crushed them into a vaccine paste. Weigl's work was successful. A very highly effective vaccine was made. To scale up vaccine production, Weigl resumed using humans to feed lice. He invented a special technique of feeding lice, which consisted in attaching special cages on the feeder's body through which the lice could suck human blood. Cages were placed in hidden places, most often on the thighs or on the lower parts of the legs, to hide unsightly wounds. After about 45 minutes of feeding, the cages were closed to prevent the lice from bursting from overeating, and then they were injected with typhus germs. With as many as 40 cages strapped to the leg, a person can feed 25,000 lice a month. Interestingly, due to the permanent marks left by their bites, only men were employed as feeders. It was only after the outbreak of the Second World War that nobody was bothered about it any longer. But let's stick to the timeline. Due to the significance and recognition of his scientific achievements, Weigl became a professor and head of the Department of General Biology at Lwów University in 1920. The Typhus Research Institute, known as Weigl's Institute, was established within this department. The fame of this Lwów scholar quickly spread around the world. Scientists from many different countries came to Lwów to learn about the institute's methods. Weigl's invention was used on a larger scale among Belgian missionaries in China, saving thousands of Chinese, for which he was honored with the highest decorations, including the Papal Order of St. Gregory the Great. In 1939, Weigl stayed in Abyssinia, where he studied the local epidemiological situation, but due to the threat of war, decided to return to Poland. As we know, the war broke out on September 1, 1939. According to the Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact, Lwów fell under Soviet occupation. The occupiers were aware of the importance of Weigl's invention, as the epidemic typhus was spreading mainly in Eastern Europe. Therefore, he retained his position as the head of the Department of General Biology at Lwów University and was given additional rooms for the research. There, he was able to increase the production of his typhus vaccine and focus his research on developing a vaccine for spotted fever. Weigl created a vaccine for spotted fever. However, it did not provide full immunity against the disease, but substantially reduced the symptoms. After Operation Barbarossa, Lwów fell into German hands. Shortly afterward, the Waffen-SS General Fritz Katzmann appeared in Weigl's office with a proposal to sign the Volkslist and move to Berlin. Weigl refused, being aware of the consequences. However, his work was valuable and the Germans knew it perfectly well. They only responded with a withdrawal of support for his candidacy for the Nobel Prize in 1942. As the war went on, German occupation became more and more brutal. Still, the technology of vaccine production required cultivation of the lice in larger quantities. The professor soon realized that the certificate of his institute employees could protect people from a sudden arrest, as the Gestapo avoided contact with people potentially infected with typhus, as the Nazis believed that typhus, transmitted by lice, was characteristic of parasitic in humans. So Professor Weigl began hiring people who were in particular danger, most notably members of the resistance movements and left-wing intellectuals. In addition to the certificate, The employees of the institute also received some food aid, which was very valuable in the conditions of wartime food shortages. According to various estimates, Weigl saved about 5,000 people. The vaccine, produced at the institute, was smuggled into the Lvov and Warsaw ghettos, concentration camps, and Gestapo prisons. After the war, Rudolf Weigl lived in Krakow and continued his studies at the Jagiellonian and Poznan universities. Despite his significant scientific achievements and worldwide fame, his career opportunities in the Polish People's Republic remain limited due to his German origins and constant accusations of collaborating with the Nazis. Weigl died on August 11, 1957, in Zakopane. In 2003, he was named one of the righteous among the nations for rescuing Jews during the Holocaust.